That's rad. What a good reveal. What good filmmaking. I like it.
I think something slipped through. Did the frame rate just drop?
Yes. There are parts of the movie that just go into 12 frames per second.
I think it's a CG face. I don't think this is actually real. I have no problem with this.
I have a million problems with this. We've seen the agents dodge bullets. They're supposed to smear.
Thanks to Huel for sponsoring this video. Stick around so you can find out how to get started with their complete protein package.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artists React. I'm back. I was on paternity leave. I had a baby, my second baby, and then Christmas happened. And now here we are. It's a pleasure to be back. I'm looking forward to seeing some VFX clips with you guys. I had all this time to get all these great clips.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's what you were doing. You were getting clips.
Just farming clips.
I'm excited to talk about The Matrix. The new Matrix movie.
The mattress?
I felt personally insulted. I seriously did.
Okay. Tomorrow when I see it in the theater, I'll let you know what my thoughts are as well.
So wait, are you about to get spoiled right now?
No, I've got solutions for that. As long as I scream loud enough, I won't be able to hear what's happening or concentrate.
My quick review is that I enjoyed the movie. I think I connected with it on a very different level from everyone else. That being said, there are some issues with it, and we're gonna look at some of them today.
There's one scene in particular that was talked about as having not good VFX, and that was the train sequence. So I figured let's jump in with that.
Set and setting.
What happened to Morpheus?
He's a computer program now.
What?
Don't ask questions if you don't want spoilers, Sam.
Okay, sounds
Look,
good.
We'll watch it on mute, because all you need to see are the visuals.
Perfect. Yeah, these visuals are pretty nuts.
Can you not see through those?
They're spoiler blocking glasses. It filters the whole scene through except the spoilers.
That anti-spoiler glare.
Yeah.
They're on a train. Where is this train?
On a green screen. Oof, these guns. Digital guns, they don't look very good.
I think something slipped through. Did the frame rate just drop?
Yes. There are parts of the movie that just go into 12 frames per second. Only John Woo can get away with 12 frames per second.
Yeah, and it's like during good moments.
So what's the first thing that jumps out to you here, Niko?
The first thing that jumps out to me is just like the complete mismatch with the outdoor light versus the indoor light of the train. This is like a big challenge with green screen sets that they fixed with the volumetric stages for like Mandalorian, is that they're approximating what the background's going to be, but they don't know what the background's going to be. That hasn't been done yet. If you look outdoors, you can see it's perfectly exposed. You can see all the colors, you can see the blue sky. There's parts that are a little hazy, which is weird considering it's not actually that bright. But yet the amount of light that's hitting the inside of the train, it doesn't match up with how dim effectively the outside is. I mean, it's bright, but it's well exposed, and yet you still have these really bright lights shining into the train.
Realistically, if they wanted this interior lighting to match better with exterior, it needed to be like a lot closer to sunset, like more like one directional lighting, a lot more shadow.
There's a few things that are just kind of like, they look off to me and I can't tell why. So like, there's motion blur on the electrical posts and on the trees and whatnot, but there's like a weird sharpening going on out there too.
The characters in the foreground filmed against the green screen have a lot of motion blur. They're probably filmed at a 1/48 shutter, maybe 1/60 shutter. The background does not have the same amount of motion blur. It has motion blur, but not as much as the foreground characters. Probably because if it had as much motion blur as the foreground characters, if it was a 1/48 shutter for the background, those telephone poles would be invisible.
When your traditional shutter speed is like a 1/48, it's basically half and double at the same time. So you have a motion blur here, and then equal distance, and then the image appears again. Whereas here, when you just look at the telephone pole, it like jumps about triple to quarter of that distance, so it instantly goes, oh, high shutter speed, Saving Private Ryan, you know, like stylized. It feels different than the footage itself. So there's a instant mismatch.
And it's probably a decision to let you still see the things in the background. But that decision breaks the reality of the scene, and now you really feel the green screen separation.
What was the other scene that you wanted to look at?
The Neil Patrick Harris bullet time sequence.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. That sounds so bad.
No, that's not what you think
Stop
it is. It's
it.
not what you think it is.
Deja vu, right?
So they wanted to be like, everybody's moving slow motion except for Neil Patrick Harris. But our frame rate doesn't match for some reason. It's just so inconsistent.
Bullet time. I know.
So like now he's full frame rate, but the background sparks still have like motion blur trails. And now he's like smeary.
Because it looked like what they did was they shot it at a slow frame rate with a really, really high shutter. So you end up with a little bit of that stop motion look with everything being blurred. I have no problem with this.
I have a Million problems with this because all I know is that we've seen what that's supposed to look like, and this isn't what it looks like. We've seen the agents dodge bullets. They're supposed to smear. They've literally done it before, and they could have used their own reference to do this scene and not make it distracting.
Feels like they had one day to go like, what's an idea, and then one day to shoot it, and that sucks. A Matrix movie deserves better than that. So there's a problem happening here, which is exposure and color grading. So it looks like they had too much light on Neil Patrick Harris's face, and they had to pull it down. And so you're getting kind of this gray, washed out look on his skin. They are lacking color because they pulled the brightness down, and it wasn't quite exposed with enough data to still have good color there. So then when you get into this next sequence where he steps around Keanu Reeves and is clearly rotoscoped from a separate take, it really stands out. There's even like a touch of like edge feather on his face when there shouldn't
There's like
be.
literally edge feather.
Yeah.
It's the black multiply edge feather.
Using edge feather to like blend your edges, I can get by with like somebody doing that for like a YouTube video, but when it's a close-up of an actor's face in a big budget film, which has the word Matrix in the title, it feels really janky.
I find myself really wanting to look at the scene where they walk through the mirror because I feel like they did all the mirror stuff so well.
That looks great.
Right?
That looks great.
Look at how they're getting the reflections of her from behind.
No, it's pretty obvious how they did it. There's a hole in the wall. And they probably have a camera back there, maybe.
Let's assume that that is the flat plane there. Measure the angle between this camera and the plane of the wall. And that is the angle that you have to be from the other direction on the other side of the hole in the wall, filming that way.
Which is basically what you did in your Portal trick shots video. You know, you're always finding out, well, if we were looking through the portal from the other side, the camera would have to be over here, and you're
Exactly.
extrapolating its
It's
position.
the same type of effect, but with a portal, what you would see there is different, but it's the same type of thinking. But what blows me away here is the proximity, like the actual point of contact with the mirror. You're getting like a very nice, proper mirror reflection. That's kind of a hard thing to fake.
Unless you do your math perfectly and have your camera put in the exact right spot it should be.
Yeah,
Exactly. We've seen people do math properly with mirrors in the past. Darby O'Gilly.
It's a mirror! It's a mirror!
That's all dolls and mirrors.
Missing my point. Okay.
I love that Darby
Fair.
O'Gilly is like the gold standard of mirror effects.
I know, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Like, that footage only can get you so far. You know, there's still like a level of rotoscoping you have to do on the actor as it's passing through this mirror element.
The ripples allow the camera to see some obscured stuff that the camera can't actually see normally. And to get that effect, you have to then project this stuff in 3D space so that you can have the proper reflections. Like part of that mirror there with the wave is now reflecting perfectly back to the camera. We should technically see the reflection of the camera there.
You do see some of the wall of the room in that reflection.
Yeah, and we see some of the hand kind of reflecting back there. And the crazy thing about mirror effects is that it seems really intuitive. It seems obvious how you would do it, but then when you actually go through and try to do it, it doesn't work, and you're like left scratching your head going, why doesn't this work?
Hey guys, what's your New Year's resolution?
Subscribing to Corridor Digital.
Subscribe.
That was gonna be my New Year's resolution.
Anyway, speaking of The Matrix, let's look at Breaking Bad. So Breaking Bad is a movie that's not exactly known for the visual effects, but here we have the Chicken Man right at the end, right before he goes over to the stars in the war, and he gets blown up.
Is this the scene where Chicken Man gets hurt?
It's a far cry from that.
I forgot about that. This is the coolest villain in the entire show, and this is his final scene. And there's a really interesting thing at play for how they kill off this character. Spoilers, sorry. Whoa. Big practical explosion, pretty sweet.
Whoa, that's rad. That's super cool.
Pretty sweet, right?
That's super cool. What a good reveal. What good filmmaking. I like it.
We've seen this effect before with The Dark Knight, you know, Two-Face there. It's a very guttural effect to do because you're like, this is not natural.
Yeah, it's weird to see holes in the human body. But also, like, as the camera pushes up there and part of his cheek is missing, so you get a completely different profile than what you're expecting. That stuff triggers you a little bit.
And there's an extra little detail that I love. His eye looks where his other eye does.
Oh,
Yeah, that's so cool.
that's so gross. The little muscles moving in there. Ugh. I never noticed that. That makes it so much grosser.
They also did have some practical prosthetics on his face, and in visual effects, not only do they have to remove that, but they have to remove pretty much the entirety of the head so that they can have a clean plate so that where it actually is kind of eating into his head, they can replace that. And the fact that it's very hard to tell what is real versus what is not is a testament to how good the execution of this effect is. They were meticulous about how they were going to go about doing this effect because they knew that they were going to be doing this as a visual effect. And they wanted to support it with the prosthetic makeup. And this is a different argument than, say, doing like monster creature effects, like in The Thing, you know, where they replaced all of it with CG and people had mixed feelings about that. That is like a different scope from what this is. This is okay to replace that sort of stuff with CG. It all works towards making a better final product.
Not to mention, it also lets you scan something in 3D, so you don't have to have somebody go there and model it the whole time. You can just scan it, and then there's your 3D element to work off of.
This is a shot that was specifically requested in the comments, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So if you have any other ideas for shots for us to look at, leave a comment down below. We'll take a look.
Yeah, even if they seem obvious. I can't believe we haven't done this one.
I know,
yet.
right?
Like, this has been around for years, and I've known about it, and those little reminders you leave for us in the comments help so much.
So you've seen our debunking videos, right? Someone sent me a UFO video, and I cannot figure it out.
We have a deep cut. An anonymous user has given us the raw footage to what appears to be a real UFO sighting. And so far, from what we can tell, we can't figure it out. So we're gonna debunk it and check out that video here on Corridor Crew.
Hey, maybe you can figure it out, so come join us in that video tomorrow.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow, so subscribe so you don't miss it. So speaking of Breaking Bad, The Witcher.
This is gonna be a very similar type of effect. The reason I wanted to pull up The Witcher here is there's a little bit of a redemption arc here. We really roasted the first season.
We did roast the first Witcher.
But with the second season, it looked like they kind of either turned up the quality meter or just the money meter or something. I don't know what they did.
The money meter.
Like everything about the second season is way better and definitely an improvement over the first season, especially this effect in this scene.
A fire for my guests. And you, my dear?
Oh, wait, I've seen this guy. Okay, I know what you're talking about here then. Didn't the actor come out and say that it was all prosthetic?
Well, let's watch it. Let's watch it and think about it a little bit.
Pro citizens, safe.
Nice.
When they drop all the food, I can just imagine like 10 stagehands on ladders above, all holding a dish, and they all like go at the same time, right?
Doesn't this remind you of like the best prosthetic you've ever seen from like an 80s movie or like a 90s movie or something?
It has that prosthetic look to it. You can kind of see it with that sheen on his skin.
It's like it's not overly articulated.
It looks latex rather than like skin or rendered.
All right, so just give me your like VFX artist, like, all right, what's going on here?
I'll bet it's a prosthetic. They can have a mouth go bop, 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 like most prosthetics in the 80s. And they're using computers to then warp it a la Babe.
Oh, you think so?
The movie.
Because I think it's a CG face. I don't think this is actually real. So I think it's real hair on the top of his head and the face here is added. But we're also seeing the hair from his beard moving. There's interaction there. So I don't know how much of the hair was replaced after the fact.
His beard shadow looks like a CG beard shadow onto his shirt. It's got that kind of like weird ambient softness as opposed to like specificity.
Ambient softness.
Yeah.
Gives away shadows.
It's just a general soft shadow as opposed to like a clear, like following the contours of his shirt. Shadows aren't just your scene with the brightness turned down. Shadows are the absence of one light letting the other light in. So if there's like a blue ambient light and a yellow direct light and you shade the yellow direct light, it doesn't just get darker, it lets the blue light through of the ambient light that's still hitting it.
That being said, that's not the sort of thing that is detracting from the effect for me.
No.
Like I'm not noticing that, but like when you point it out, I'm like, okay, I guess there is some ambient softness going on with that shadow. It's just not bad.
Yeah, it's a cue I look for.
Okay, well, look, these are some really good theories, and I think honestly, this discussion is a good testament to how well it was done and like how well designed the character is for the actor playing it as well.
His face is motion capture and it's just everything around the face is real?
Yep.
Wow.
I called it, that's what I said.
It looks really good.
Isn't it a good blend? So what they're basically doing is they're not just filling in the hole, they add a little extra hair to blend in. And then that's basically stamped over the actual practical hair, which is great for, there's all these scenes where it's backlit with like a fireplace and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's nice, that's well done. That is smart on-set VFX thinking.
That's every department working together. Costume, makeup, direction.
These are really well done effects.
Yeah, that's really cool. This makes me want to watch The Witcher.
I know, same thing, that's exactly what happened to me. I saw this and I'm like, oh, it's Witcher time again.
Yeah.
Are you sad this episode's ending? Well, on corridordigital.com, it's just getting started with our extended reacts. So check them out there.
Yeah, we argue a lot about The Matrix, but the show on YouTube is about VFX, so if you want to dive more into that, subscribe to the website.
Do you want to hear what I really think about The Matrix? Corridordigital.com.
That's actually
is
pretty
the
solid.
thought.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
All right, guys, I'm super excited. We just got some ready-to-drink Huel. You may not know what that means, but last time that I was with you guys, we had Huel protein powder in a bag, but this time there's a ready-to-go drink. Strawberry shortcake, there's Nana, berry. We love us some coffee here, so what's better than coffee and protein combined? Man, we're gonna be pushing out videos like there's no tomorrow. Huel is a 100% nutritionally complete meal. It's full of proteins, essential fats, carbohydrates, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Actually, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. Each bottle contains 20 grams of protein. I personally love Huel because it works with my day perfectly. I work out every single morning before I come to the studio. Sometimes the workouts are at different times. I don't always have time to make breakfast. This is where these bad boys come in. Ready to go made meals in a bottle. 20 grams of protein, so after my workout, I get fueled up. There's no cooking, there's no cleanup, there's no time wasted. I can come in and get to exactly what I need to do. It tastes like there's way more than 3 grams of sugar in there. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, strawberry shortcake. That tastes super good.
I'm a human, and I need some fuel. Try this chocolate. Time to fuel up. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's amazing.
And it's all plant-based.
Dude, crazy. I didn't know plants could make this.
I'm a fool for Huel, I'll tell you. And it tastes like a cinnamon roll. That's a cheat code for life. Oh, that's good. Come on now.
Huel.
Huel. Huel. Huel. Huel.
Well, it looks like the whole crew is on Huel. So we want you to get Hueled up as well. Click the link in the description and go choose your flavors. If you need fuel, fill up with Huel. Back to the episode.
Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see The Matrix tomorrow. I'm super jazzed. And if you want to catch it in theaters too, you know, you're allowed to like it.
Yeah. I'm only so aggravated by The Matrix because I'm so passionate about The Matrix. I usually try not to do this on this show, but I'm being emotionally honest, all right? That's what it's supposed to be like in 2022.
A lot of people agree with you, Niko, but I think I'm on the list of people that did like it.
Good.
I like the first half hour.
If you like the movie, you're not alone.
You know, that's always a great place to be. It's on the list of people who like something. So hopefully I'm on that list tomorrow. The end.